Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys, for letting me know. So I'll start over. I just want to welcome all of you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening, Monday, October 9th. I cannot believe it's already October. Time goes by so fast. Um, but I just wanted to, while we're waiting for people to log on, I just want to get to know you a bit better and welcome you to this webinar on hormones, belly fat, and fatigue. So if you don't mind putting your name, I guess I can see your name, but just where you're from and what your biggest health concern is. I would love to get to know you. Unfortunately, I can't hear you, but I can see the chat. So put in what your biggest health concern is. I know that probably you're here because of menopause symptoms and not feeling the best that you can. Allison, yes, I am. Since you signed up for the webinar, you're going to get a replay at the end. So yes, yes, belly fat, weight gain, belly fat, fatigue, weight gain, weight. Yeah, I totally hear you. I have so many clients that suffer from the same thing, and yet you don't have to suffer. Mood issues. Oh, from Southern California. Hard to lose weight. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for putting all this in the chat. I want this to be interactive. Los Angeles, I hear you. Sometimes it's frustrating, right? We're going to get into all of this later. Okay, it's 7:15 from Santa Cruz. That's where I'm from. Yes, sent to your replay, Allison. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the slides that I have. And the reason why I have the slides is so I don't forget anything. This is my third webinar, but I've been practicing for decades and helped hundreds and hundreds of people. So, and I like one-on-one, but I'm doing a webinar, so please bear with me while I go through this. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, emotional all over the place. Central Valley, welcome you guys. I'm so happy you guys are here. So I would like this presentation to be about you. And you know, if you're here because maybe you can't lose weight, which I'm seeing that a lot of you can't lose weight, you have belly fat no matter what you try to do, you have hot flashes, your hair is thinning, you can't sleep, you have no energy to get through your day, you're concerned about your thyroid. You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? You're menopausal, and basically you're just frustrated and don't know what to do. You can hear me. Okay, good. So whatever the reason why you're here, I just want to welcome you and just know that we're going to get into all this as we go through this. This webinar will be about, I don't know, 50 minutes or so. And I'm excited that you're here. So please keep interacting with me on the chat because that's the only way that I get to hear from you. So I just want to explain to you why I am here in front of you. I had my own wake-up call. While I was pregnant with my first child, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And there was a real fear of losing her. And I didn't, you know, I had to go through the surgery on a Monday, went to my appointment. By Friday, I had my thyroid removed, all while I was pregnant, 5 months pregnant. And so the fear of losing her was real, but also, you know, was I going to survive? What did that mean for my health? And I really took my own health back. I didn't know what to do. And through this experience, it's a passion of mine because I didn't take no for an answer. I didn't believe that I had cancer and that was just that. I had to find why I had cancer. And so I'm here because I really have a passion to help people. I've gone back to school. I received my board certification as a functional nutrition practitioner. I went to a health coaching school in their mastery program for a year and a half. And plus, I've just learned from many, many functional medicine practitioners, and I study a lot. So that is why I'm here, is because I have a passion to helping people not have to go through what I went through. But happy to say that I am healthy, and so is my daughter. Here's a picture of my daughter. And I'm here to share what I've learned so you don't have to go through what I've experienced. So here are the people that I've worked with, the schools that I went to. Um, I'm very proud of all my education and my learning, and I'm continuing my education and learning. So I want to bring that to the table and help you. So first of all, I want to introduce you to a client of mine that I met a while ago, and she's a very, very high level executive, super busy with her work, and she was the type of person that would always tell other people what to do, give them ideas, suggestion to move along their career path. But when it came to her health, she was kind of stumped. She didn't know what to do. She was carrying extra weight. She wanted to age gracefully. And she literally was skeptical of this program that I had to offer just because, she didn't know me, and she's tried so many different things. So she came, to me with a bit of skepticism, but happily to say that she did a 3-month program with me. And this plan was personalized. Like she wrote in here that she valued the personalization of the plan, her health and weight. Like she lost all the weight that she wanted to lose, and not just the weight, but just really be able to thrive and feel good and get through the day with a lot of energy. And this is just what keeps me going, doing what I'm doing. So I want to go over our little agenda tonight and what we're going to be discussing. What we're going to be covering is America's healthcare crisis. I'm sure that all of you have experienced that. We're going to talk a lot about hormones and belly fat and feelings of fatigue or exhaustion. And then we're going to discuss the underlying root cause and conditions of symptoms. And then we're going to take action and how to protect your health naturally. And so at the end of the call, what I'm going to offer you is a 15-minute free discovery call is the first step, because clearly in this time that I have with you tonight, I can't hear your voice. I can't get to know you. And I just want to get to know you. So I'm offering a free discovery call so that we can discuss your health goals and where you're at. And then after that, the second step is then I get you ready for, if we decide to move forward, I get you ready for a full hour for your first consult appointment. And here we talk about everything in depth. I send you a lot of paperwork to fill out. You give that back to me before our appointment, and then we discuss your health plan. At that time, I may, depending on where you're at, offer you a program, but I don't know exactly what that program is until we have our second appointment. But again, the first step is this free discovery call. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to send out my calendar link so then you can book time on my calendar. So this training is for you if you are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, you are not feeling as good as you know you could or should, you know that you've got to do things differently, but you're not exactly sure what to do next. And I'm sure that all of you have tried so many different things and yet still cannot achieve your health goal. You realize health doesn't come in a bottle, and you're willing to take ownership of your health. And this is a really key point for you to take back your own health, because at the end of the day, you are your own physician, I say. You are your own healer. And I know that a lot of people come to me and they're just completely frustrated. They're skeptical. They don't, they've either been referred to me or they see me somewhere and they're skeptical, right? But at the end of the day, you're completely frustrated. And what you've done 10 or 20 years ago is no longer working. So, and that just adds to your frustration. And I totally get that. So But I'm here to say that you do not have to suffer. There is a solution, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit later. So doctors are frustrated too. We need our conventional medicine model in case of an emergency, such as a broken leg or if we have a heart attack. But the problem is that doctors cannot help us to prevent a heart attack, but they definitely know how to fix a broken leg and how to help us to recover after a heart attack. And so I call this a good, for reactive care. It's not preventative and it's not getting to the underlying cause. And I don't know if you guys know this, but doctors only have 4 hours of nutrition in their medical curriculum and do not have any training around lifestyle changes. If we're lucky, we can find a couple doctors like that. But we definitely don't want to end up here. I see, so many people that say, oh, I'll start on Monday, or I'll start after my birthday, or I'll start, at another time. And slowly that inclination, that pain, or whatever your symptoms are, get worse and worse. And then we find ourselves ending up in the hospital. And all I can say is that what I went through when I had my surgery as I was pregnant with my daughter, that being in the hospital is a place that we do not want to end up. And basically, with this sick care model that I'm going to explain to you, is that we're going in the wrong direction. And I'm sure you've known a lot of people, or some people, that have ended up in the hospital unexpectedly. So the other part that I want to talk about is, and I'm going to ask this question, is you see this lady, she's like an older lady, and she has 5 medications. I would like to know in the chat box, do you think this is common or uncommon? I'd love to hear your answers. Yeah, very common. Are you guys on any medications? Yes. No. Yeah, but it's very common. At least this number. Yep. Thank you. Lana, I know, no meds. I totally agree. But so here's, majority of, so I have some stats that I put in here that a third of all 65-year-olds use at least one medication, and 70% of all Americans are on at least one medication. So big pharma is one of the, I say weightiest, sorry, that's a typo, but wealthiest for-profit business. So we take multiple medications, which is called polypharma, and it is known, there's stats, there's statistics that show that this increases the rate of mortality. I remember when I was 14 years old, and, my grandmother was taking so many medications, and my mom had to keep track of all her medications. And I remember at that state, that, that age, questioning my mom. I asked her, why is grandma taking so many medications? It didn't make any sense to me as a kid. And, especially with the side effects that you can get from one medication, then the doctor gives you another medication, and then the cycle just keeps continuing. So you guys are absolutely right. It is very common. And even at a 30-year-old, would you think that if a 30-year-old had some, symptoms, that she could be on multiple medications? Is that common? Yes, for sure. So in America, so we are in a huge, huge health crisis, and with unacceptable costs and unacceptable outcomes. We spend $3.5 trillion annually on healthcare. 90% have chronic health conditions, double the amount of any other developed nations. And 70% of all deaths are caused by the top 5 chronic diseases. The US ranked 37 out of 40 in a not so good health outcome. This is unacceptable. And did you know that most chronic conditions that we just discussed are largely preventative with lifestyle changes? But this is not what's happening in our current healthcare model. So we have pills for everything. We have medications for everything. We have pills for constipation, acid reflux, IBS, IBD, for everything, right? But we're not addressing the root cause. So we think, how many people feel tired all day long? We think that we are tired all the time, and that is normal, right? Just because it's common does not mean it's normal. We should feel vital. We should feel energized. But again, we have pills for this as well. So we have a ton of medications for depression. And are we less depressed than ever before? Each year, the stats that I just read are 20% increase year over year, right? Clearly, we're not getting any better. And basically, if you take away this medication, do you feel that one that's taking a antidepressant could feel better if you remove that antidepressant? It just go back to the same way, right? Unless we do something drastic, we get to the underlying condition. Feeling anxious is common, right? And here are symptoms of hormonal imbalance that are related to anxiety. Hormones that affect our mood, our sex hormones, our stress hormones, our thyroid hormones, even the love oxytocin hormone. All these are being affected. And it's not your fault. So I see someone here, Maria, that you suffer from insomnia. Not getting enough sleep, as you clearly know, you can be at an increased risk for obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, poor mental health, and even early death. But one night's sleep of a short amount of sleep per night can affect the next day. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that at least once in your life, especially if you are not addressing the root cause. And a lot of times that's hormonal, right? It's not because you're getting older. So mood swings and emotional stress. Yes, we have pills for this too. And most of you that I saw in the chat, that you're here because you have belly fat and you are just completely frustrated because you can't get rid of it, right? Is that true? It's called coffee. Yeah. Yes. So, but I want to explain to you something about menopausal symptoms. They are a result basically of our past lifestyle, right? We could have had symptomatic conditions related to insulin resistance or blood sugar dysregulation or hormonal imbalances back then, and they're just coming as a cascade of all these symptoms when we go through menopause. So we need to address again the root cause. And what's really remarkable is that our body is so intelligent, right? That when we remove things that don't serve us, that cause more inflammation, that cause, all our mood swings, when we remove some of the core conditions, then our body can heal pretty quickly. We can get rid of this belly fat. I just finished a program with a group, and belly fat goes the first thing. It's pretty remarkable. And here's the reason why. It's not because eating less and exercising more is going to do the trick. We've been ingrained with that myth all along. The loss of progesterone and estrogen levels leads to high blood sugar levels in our bloodstream, which increases our belly fat. And again, I'm going to go over hormones in a second later in this webinar. But we need to optimize our gut microbiome and watch our hormones. So here's another woman who is a new mom, one of my clients, and she was on 3 medications. Excuse me, she was on 2 acid blockers and 1 inflammation medication. And she was a single mom, stressful job, trying to raise her daughter. And again, she was skeptical. She tried everything. And, when we did our discovery call, I can tell that she was a bit skeptical. And she, just because like most of you, you've tried so many different things to address, her stubborn belly fat, and she didn't have any energy to get through her whole day after work to take care of her child. But the results were truly life-changing for her. Within 3 months, we got her off all her medications. She has no more digestive issues. She lost her weight. I think she lost about 20 pounds or so. And her why, like we talked about this a little bit earlier, is that she wants to be the ultimate best mom for her child, right? To have enough energy so after work she can take her to the park, so she can play with her and feel good, and get a good night's sleep and start the day over. I mean, the fact that she got off all her medications and she feels amazing now just again makes my job. I just want to keep doing my what I'm doing. So this is our sick care model. It's a sinking ship. I want to ask you guys, do you feel like you've been giving wrong information or lacking information? Both. Yeah. So where do you begin, right? Exactly. It's both. We've been given wrong information, and we don't have enough information to understand, right? We don't understand what to do. And we can Google search anything. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Thank you for sharing all that. I appreciate hearing your responses. But the thing is that when we Google search things, say, menopausal conditions or symptoms, you're going to get so much information, and a lot of that information is contradictory to each other. So then you feel more frustrated. You feel like giving up. You're like, I don't even know what to do, right? But our current medical model is not going to give us any of the answers either, right? Like, like we talked about, the doctors, have 4 hours of nutrition in their curriculum as a medical student. So they really don't know what to do. I mean, has any doctor asked you, how are you sleeping? Are you getting enough water? How's your stress level? Spending more than 10 minutes with you asking those kind of questions? No, most likely not. So the reason why, and this is something I just was listening to a book on audibles, which is remarkable, metabolic. And basically, the big pharma companies, like I said earlier, they're the wealthiest for-profit company, and they target doctors. They target doctors to sell their drugs, right? So, and they also have so much more power beyond your imagination in government, in lobbyists, and everything else to push these drugs on us. And really, if we don't have our health, what do we have? These medications keep us, where we're still not super well, but we're not dead. We're kind of in that middle range. Yeah. Yeah. Tamara, you're saying, can you get told this is what happens as we age? And you're right. I'm going to show you this in a second because it's not true. We don't, when we eat less and exercise more, clearly if that worked, would we still have our health issues for today? But it doesn't work. There's a unique approach to everything. You're unique. So COVID, I want to just touch on this and, really the reason why I want to touch on this is because it was a really scary time for most of us, right? Like we were like sideswiped. It was like, what is going on? We didn't know what we didn't know about it. And it was an unfortunate crisis. But it created such a surprise, a wake-up call, and an opportunity for us to take back our own health. We know now that our microbiome, our immunity is really important, right? It's not with a vaccine. It's not with something like that. It's like we need to optimize our gut health. We need to optimize our immune system. And really, I want you to thrive and not just survive. This is my true passion. So, even though COVID happened, we don't have a lot of control with a lot of things in our life, right? But we do have control over our health. We can't stop the biological aging. Maybe one day they'll come up with that. But we can control, we can be proactive. We can consider food as our medicine to heal the body. We can address blood sugar dysregulation. We can improve our heart health. We can boost the immune system, minimize inflammation, calm autoimmunity, and balance our hormones. That is what we have control over. So this slide I love, because both of these ladies are in their 80s. Like Tamara, you said, basically it's just what happens as we age. But this is proof, right? This is proof that we don't have to buy into that. That's a lie. So both these ladies are in their 80s. The Healthy, Vibrant Woman shows us that the right decisions, we can thrive at any age. It's a testament to the power of choosing wellness, investing in prevention, and embracing a healthy lifestyle. I see more people on the right with this woman here, who are in their 60s. So Ernestine is this woman's name, and it's her name, and you can look her up on, you can Google her. But she was overweight. She was on multiple medications, and she did not work out at all. And she was desperately struggling with her health. And she even asked her doctor, like, how I need help. And basically, her doctor couldn't help her. But she was still committed, like me, when I, after my thyroid surgery and having my baby, I was determined to take back my own health, to get curious, to find mentors to help me to get healthier. And so she hired a mentor and made a choice to change her life. Did you know that she had started lifting weights not until she was 70, right? That's pretty impressive. She is an inspiration to me. So like I said, I see women on the right-hand side, unfortunately, and it breaks my heart that, people don't have mobility. They don't have the energy. Cognitively, they're declining. They have to have assistance. They need help, just to live. And I just don't think that, living with poor health is our goal, right? So looking forward like 10 or 20 years, I want you to envision what you want for your life, for your health. It's important to anchor that into that vision. So how did we get here? So stress, I'm gonna ask you guys as well. How do you feel when you are stressed? Like, what is the feeling that you have? Stress, chronic, jangly. Yeah. Yep. Anxiety. Yeah. Thank you guys for sharing all that. Yeah. Migraines and tight muscles, irritable. But, we live in a very toxic world, right? And stress is a big factor to hormonal imbalances. It triggers inflammation. It causes weight gain. It causes, environmental stress causes hormonal disruptors. Like it's the water we drink, the air we breathe, but it's also like our what are they called? Dryer sheets, right? Those are hormonal disruptors, and we use them thinking that they're not going to affect us, but they do. The detergent we use, and some of these things we can't see, but emotional stress we clearly feel. Like you guys feel after like stress, you can't sleep, you feel tired, and it just kind of sets us off. Like we get off, jump off our horse, right? And we got to get back on the horse and all the strength and motivation we can to get back on that horse and ride this wave that we call life, right? So it's important to have, mitigate our stress. There's physical stress, there's environmental stress, there's emotional stress, and all of this affects us. But if we know how to manage our stress, then the better off we are. We can't avoid stress, but we need to know how to mitigate stress. So in the chat, thank you guys again for putting all this in the chat. I love hearing from you guys. So you don't have to tell me exactly what you have or what you feel you have, but tell me how many you have. So is it 1? Is it 10? Do you feel that your life is high stress? Do you feel like your adrenal dysfunction, like you're just constantly, um, like at a level of running? Do you have liver issues? Do you feel like you've gut issues? You have weight problems, no energy? 10, 6. Do you have a virus? Do you feel like you are in menopause and you have all these symptoms? Celiac disease, 9. Yeah, infections, insulin resistance, all of that. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's frustrating, but we can get to the root cause. So here is what the doctors do when we have a doctor's visit. Basically, we make the appointment, we go in, the doctor asks us what medical conditions do we have, ask some questions, related to our symptoms. And then the second thought that they have is, what drug do you need? What drug can I give you? For example, if you have high cholesterol, the first pill that they offer you is a statin, right? But a statin creates hormonal disruption. And we need cholesterol, and there's different kinds of cholesterol, good and bad, but we need good cholesterol, right? We need good cholesterol to produce more healthy hormones, to produce healthy sex hormones. So when you can imagine having a statin, I know men who can't, have erectile dysfunction, that, women who have, thinning hair, they just feel miserable. But the reason for this is that pharmaceutical companies spend billions and billions of dollars, like we discussed earlier, so that doctors and we think that that is a solution. This is our symptom. This is what they give us, right? The end of story. But really, it doesn't do much, especially if we remove that medication. So Medicare, this is their statement, and all insurance companies follow this statement, right? So care that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, and prolong and enhance the quality of life is not considered medically necessary and therefore not payable. So basically, your insurance company will not pay for anything that is going to enhance the quality of your life. So if you want to get healthier, you have to invest in yourself, because your insurance will not cover it. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about the time, right? We need to invest in ourselves. We need to nurture ourselves. We need to know that that is okay and it's not selfish, because I'm sure you want to be around for a long, long time, for your family and loved ones without suffering. So again, this is our sick care model. It's a sinking ship. And Americans spend $535 billion in 2018 on prescription drugs. And this is a 50% increase only 8 years earlier. So my question to you, are we 50% healthier from spending all this money? Do you feel that you are? For those that are on medications? Nope. Exactly. No, we're not. And so what I had to do, and what I'm hoping to inspire you to do, is to invest in yourself now, to invest into the upstream right now, rather than paying downstream later. I think that there was like a diabetes dialysis is now costing $88,000 a year. But we can prevent diabetes, just so you know, even if it runs in our family. So here is another one of my clients. She's actually my sister-in-law, but I call her my sister. And she's done my program. She literally looked like she was 6 months pregnant because of inflammation. Her belly was extended. She didn't have the energy. She was a single mom as well. And she struggled with brain fog, like I said, lacking energy, but she did the program. And within like 3 weeks, she lost her belly and she has more energy. Has more life in her, basically. Like she just feels more alive. And I'm just so happy that I can provide that for my family and friends and all of you. I just love this. So anyway, she followed the program to a T, and again, meeting people where they are, but there was so much relief that she felt, and she is so grateful that there's a solution out there. So my question to you is, are you willing to do something different? So this is my why. So my daughter that I talked to you about, she's in the middle in the white shirt. And then I have a son, my beautiful son, and then my niece on the right hand side. Then my mom is on the right. And then I have some family friends. But truly my why is, it's so important for me to be active and feeling really, really good, right? I want energy. I want to be able to cognitively function well. My dad died of, with Alzheimer's, and I know that in a large part that is preventative. Alzheimer's is considered diabetes 3. It's insulin resistance of the brain. And so there's things that we can do to take proactive action. But I'm telling you, this is my why. Like, I want to be active. I want to travel. I want to be able to connect with my family and friends, and to live the rest of my life just, feeling good in my body. Yeah, I'm sorry. So your mom had Alzheimer's, Maria. It's devastating, right? It's one of the worst diseases. And if we can prevent that, you know, why wouldn't we take the effort to prevent that for ourselves? So there's a lot of fear about changing your lifestyle, right? What does that mean? Are you going to feel deprived? Are you going to feel that you can't do it, that you're going to fail? Just like I had fear, right? Like, I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I had to be curious, and I had to feel the feelings of feeling fearful and yet do it, because my motivation and my why was so super crystal clear to me that I got through the terror barrier is what it's called. So I just want you to, so whatever feelings you have in changing your lifestyle, it's really important to know that, you'll get through it, and know that your vision is out there, that you can create anything. So these are the pillars that I include in my program, and I'm going to go over each one with you and provide you with information that you can take home um, and apply them to your life. But basically, these are the 7 pillars. So there's nutrition, hormones, fitness or movement, a targeted supplementation plan, comprehensive blood labs that are not conventional. They're more targeted, and I'll explain this in a second. A proper detox, and mentoring. So those are the ones that we're going to discuss now. So did you guys know that 80% of the immune system is housed in the gut? So which means then we have to optimize our liver, we have to optimize our kidneys, our gut, and our skin. We live in a very, very toxic world, and detoxes help to support and calm down inflammation. But they also just set the stage for us to build a really good immune system. And it doesn't have to be messy or hard. It's actually a really simple process that you can go through a detox. So nutrition, we all heard, and part of it is that we think that nutrition definitely is a powerful medicine, but not one dietary approach is right for everyone. Clearly, because if we followed, plans that we see in the media, and, everyone's doing the same thing, we just don't know the nuances. We don't know what foods are right for you. And I hear a lot of times from my clients when I first start with them is that they think they're eating healthy, but once we dive into what they're eating and what actually is causing some different triggers, it could mean that the foods that you're eating are causing more inflammation in your body and you don't even know it. So the purpose of food is that which is eaten to sustain life, provide energy, and promote growth and repair of tissues. I mean, Doritos, for example, is not one of those foods, right? So fitness is important, movement, but I get it. If you're feeling like in a lot of pain or you don't have enough energy, then you may not be motivated to feel like you want to exercise or move. And that's totally fine. Like part of it is that you got to get well and start slow and find the right approach for you so then you can start to move. We're physical beings, we need to move. And plus, when we feel stress, it's important for us to clear out the cortisol, which is our stress hormone. But we find the right movement for you. And I know a lot of my clients discuss like, beating themselves up if they're not doing something that they think they should be doing. And I want to just let you know that thinking we can get rid of, because really you are where you are and it's a beautiful thing. We have an opportunity to change our health, and movement is just one thing that we can add when we're ready at the right time. So now we're going to talk about hormones. And these are 4 typical body types when hormones are dysregulated. So estrogen, I'm going to go into these individually. So estrogen here, this body type for women means that they're bigger hips and bigger thighs. And for men, it's when the hips are bigger and their breasts, they have breasts, right? How many have you seen a man with breasts or bigger hips in a breast? So usually you have difficulty concentrating. Your sex drive has decreased. You have increased hot flashes. You feel bloated or even depressed. So estrogen gets stored in our fat cells, which means there's a higher risk of thyroid issues, and it's harder to regulate sugar metabolism. And this happens when the ratio of progesterone and estrogen is off balance. We can balance our hormones naturally. And estrogen is a hormone that sometimes gets a bad rap, especially in the context of estrogen dominance, but we still need to support estrogen. How are you guys doing so far? Good. So adrenal, thank you guys. So our adrenal glands are located right above our kidney, and they produce what we call cortisol, which is considered our stress hormone. So when we're under chronic stress, then it significantly affects our adrenal glands and the production of cortisol. So what happens is that when we're under stress, our adrenal glands produce cortisol to help the body respond to stress. And then adrenal fatigue is when prolonged chronic stress can lead to conditions known as adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion. And in this state, the adrenal glands may become less responsive to signals from the brain to produce cortisol, and cortisol levels may even drop. So this also creates hormonal imbalances. So this can disrupt our hormones in so many ways, and it can be linked to other things like our sleep. Like someone said that they're not getting enough sleep. So one of the things that I would be aware of is your stress, our metabolism, immune response, and mood regulation. And there's a really good book out there, and I will remember the name of it, but it's adrenal fatigue is when women primarily just keep going on that hamster wheel. We just keep going, we don't stop. We keep going and going and going. That can cause adrenal fatigue, which means we need to calm down our stress response and really nurture and take care of ourselves. We've got to get into that feminine state. So most doctors, when it comes to thyroid, and when I look at labs from, my clients, and if I run the labs, then I will definitely get the right labs so we can determine if you have a thyroid issue. But most doctors don't run the right labs to determine if you have a thyroid issue. So basically, you still feel crappy, but your labs look normal to a doctor. So we have to run the right labs. And this body type is because of low thyroid function and low metabolism. It's called hypothyroidism. So basically you just feel kind of big all over. And a lot of people take thyroid medications and still do not feel good. And 1 out of 8 women will develop a thyroid condition. And it's the number one endocrine condition besides diabetes. So then we have poor liver function. And I just read a study recently that more and more children are developing what's called fatty liver disease. And it's just unacceptable to me. And that's because of the standard American diet, right? That's the SAD, I call it the SAD diet. But basically, for adults, it's kind of like that hard, big beer belly. And you don't necessarily have to drink to get this beer belly. It's an accumulation of fat within the liver cells. And this is one of the worst secondary, or I would say similarly to our belly fat, because our belly fat helps to protect our organs, and the liver accumulates fat, but it's kind of unseen. But with a proper blood test, we can actually see the health of your liver and what we need to do to move forward with your health. So liver function is vital for maintaining overall health and well-being, and it plays a central role in processing and filtering substance in the body. So if you have poor liver function, there's many different health conditions that come up from that. And the detection and lifestyle changes can help to prevent the progression and of liver conditions and promote overall health. And what I've realized is that within 30 days, if we remove these things that cause our liver to not function properly, our liver can pretty much heal itself pretty quickly. That's what our body is, just so remarkable. So I'm going to talk about more hormones here, and these are the two subgroups. Our hormones are leptin, insulin, estrogen, androgens, and growth hormones influence our appetite, our metabolism, and body fat distribution. So when we talk about fat storing, we talked a bit about this in the slides above, but insulin is a fat storing hormone. So that means basically if you are eating high glycemic foods and your insulin, your glucose, goes up and down throughout the whole day, it can't absorb that much glucose. Therefore, insulin will then put it into your stored as fat for energy at a later time. Estrogen, the same thing. We talked about that. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And all of these hormones are fat storing hormones. But the good news is that we need to get into a fat burning mode, right? We need to get into that, accessing another fuel source. So then we can start burning our fat. And that's usually through the kidney where we produce ketones. But I'm not saying that ketones and being in ketosis is the best way for you. I'm just saying that there are ways to be able to burn our fat. So now we are going to talk about comprehension in lab testing. So most labs look normal in conventional medicine. And in our practice, we use a comprehensive approach, which means our markers are narrow. They're in a functional range. And this helps us to determine things that we need to look out for. And therefore, we can create a treatment plan that is more preventative and for better health overall. But once we hit menopause, all these things that we did 10 or 20 years ago have a cascading effect in increasing our menopausal symptoms. And most labs, so in conventional medicine, most labs are done on unwell people, right? Like how many times, has your doctor given you a lab if everything seems to be fine, like at your, GP general appointment, checkup, wellness appointment with a doctor? Basically, they don't run labs. So labs are done on people that are not feeling well or are sick. And so that is what conventional medicine uses as a determinant to see if you are out of range. By the time you're out of those ranges, you pretty much have a problem. So we look at a narrow range, and it's very, very important to look at what's going on at that level. And then mentoring. So we determine your underlying cause. We create a very unique plan for you. We educate and empower you and guide you through your journey. hold you accountable, we encourage you, and we celebrate you. And this is why most people fail. And you can tell me in the chat box, like, when you start something, do you feel like giving up after a couple weeks once life throws you some curveballs? You're like, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of stressed. I'm going to go back to my old habits. And most people do that. And I've had people do this all the time. Like, I'm going to try to do this on my own. And then they come back to me and they're like, I can't do it on my own. And I put all those essential pieces together, and we have health coaches. We have a lot of support. It's a pretty amazing program to help people. So all my programs are customized and all inclusive. So basically, I don't know what you need until we have the second appointment. So the first appointment, like I said, is the 15-minute discovery call. The second appointment, if we decide to move forward and I get to know you, I feel like I can help you. And if you're ready, then we take it to the next step, which is this wellness evaluation. And I could then at that appointment talk to you about a program. I don't know what you need until that time, but overall, I put it into a package. I bundle everything together. So you get the supplementation, you get the diagnostics, you get the mentoring, you get all the things that we discussed. And what I want for you, I mean, really what I want, period, for all humans, is that you have true independence, health independence for the rest of your life forever. Maria, no, we do calls and Zoom calls. So I work with you on a Zoom call, and my coaches call, and it's a 15-minute call just to check in. It could be 15 to 30-minute call, just to keep you on track. But the programs really focus on you and your health. So this is where all the pieces come together. This is where all the pillars come together. We have a system that goes step by step by step. We hold your hand, making sure that you get everything that you need. So you don't have to think about anything. You just have, but you have to do the work, right? So this quote summarizes how we mentor. That's my goal, actually, to do that. But we have helped hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, to create lasting change. My goal is for you is not to have short-term results, right? Like, I want you to have a system and establish a habit where you can apply them to your life in real time, meaning that you can rinse and repeat it. If you wobble off, if you have a celebration, you know the tools to get back on track. Life is not black and white, and neither is this program, but we're actually working towards changing habits and teaching you and guiding you so you have the tools to be more in tuned and so you can apply them to your real life. So this quote says, "Tell me and I will forget. Teach me and I may remember, and involve me and I will learn." So we get you involved, right? We know so much about you. You share a lot. It's a very comprehensive program that is successful. So here's our destination. So remember, we talked about, our why, like thinking about what we want for the future. What is our why and how to anchor that in? But I want to ask you that, is your current health plan going to get you where you want to go? And I really want you to sit with this, because this is an essential part for us to envision, to manifest, to look for what we want for our life and our future. And ask yourself, is it a plan A, and what's your plan B? But I want you to feel healthy, like I said, for the rest of your life. And not using, like I saw someone here, and I can't remember who said this, but, that's just all part of aging. Clearly it's not. We don't have to accept that. As we age, and especially as women, we want to feel young. We want to feel vital. We want to feel useful. We want to feel seen, right? And all these things are getting you to that. So we have a healthcare crisis, like we clearly stated, and the but we can turn it into an opportunity. We can turn our health crisis into an opportunity to make the change for us. So there's no time better than now, and we want to stop procrastinating. And it's not that you guys, I feel like, are procrastinating, but I do hear clients say before they join on with me is that, oh, I just want to wait, or I'm too busy, or I just bought a house, or I'm retiring and I'm going to wait till after retirement when I have more time. But really, when you do it yourself, people, like I talked about earlier, is that we start and we just give up. I don't want you to wait any longer. And again, I'm not going to sell you on anything. Like, I want to make sure it's the right fit. I don't want to waste anybody's time or money. I truly want to help if it's the right fit. So here's a client that had thyroid issues. She wanted to lose weight. She had thinning hair. She was fully into menopause, and she didn't know what to do. And I remember having a discovery call with her, and she was very skeptical as well. And she ended up just, joining on, and it was truly life-changing. We've healed her thyroid condition. She's lost her weight. Again, it's the same thing that I discovered. Like, the success of the program keeps me, you know, and the clients that I have just make me so happy to continue doing what I'm doing. So this is your chance to do something different and change. But I also want to stress that at the end of the day, there are no shortcuts. You have to do the work, just like I did, and I continue to do. Like, I'm constantly improving my health. And it doesn't mean that I'm perfect or that I do everything right, but I know enough to move forward, and I always am curious. And then I practice on myself before I teach my clients. So I'm kind of doing my own what is it, like, beta testing before I share with you. But there's a lot of success in this, but you do have to commit to doing the work. So what's next? So like I said to you, I want to offer you a free 15 minutes discovery call, and this is what we're going to go through. I'm going to ask you questions about your current health condition, and see what your health goals are. And just to get to know you a little bit better. Like I said, in these webinars, I can't speak to you directly, so I don't really know you, but I invite you to come and get on my calendar. I've set up some times for the next few weeks. If you can't find a time that fits into your schedule, then please email me and we will find a time for you. But I also want to see if I can help you. And then if we decide that we want to move to the next step, then we will plan and prepare for your first wellness evaluation. And that's the next step. Now, normally I charge $250 for that 1 hour, but because you're on the webinar tonight, I want to offer it to you for $87. But again, that's not the first step. And it doesn't even cover my time, because I spend a lot of time before the meeting and evaluating our new patient forms, and then I get prepared for the meeting, and then we have a full hour together. I set an hour for you. But the first step is me getting to know you, you getting to know me, building that trust, seeing if we're the right fit and if I can help you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my calendar off right now, where you can book the free call. And like I said, you can email me, in my email. I'm just going to put it in the chat. If you cannot find a time, I'm extremely busy, and I'm actually only taking on 4 new clients this month because I am so incredibly busy, but I still want to help as many people as I can. So that's the first step. And this is what it's going to look like. You're going to pick a time and a day. This is September. Like I said, we're already in October, but you're going to pick a time and a day that fits into your schedule. And you're going to enter your information, your first name, your last name, how'd you hear about us? And then also there's a little intake form, and you're just going to fill that out. There's probably like 5 questions. So then at least prior to the call, it's a call, not a Zoom call, and I'll be calling you at the number that you provide. And I'll call you right on time. And I call you from a 415 phone number. So, when I call, I only have that time scheduled. And if you need to reschedule, there's no problem. So I think, Rena, you were asking about the cost and utilizing insurance. So I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions. And here are some questions that are asked often. Can we help everyone? And unfortunately, no, we can't help everyone. I will not offer a program or take on a new client if you are not ready. I will be totally transparent and honest. If I feel I can't help you, I will let you know. I will also let you know that I feel it's the right fit and that we can move forward. But the timing has to be right. You have to be ready to commit and want to change your health trajectory. And at the end of the day, you're your own healer and you have to do the work. So I don't take everybody. And again, my calendar is getting busy, so I'm even more aware of who I take on. But again, if you're the right fit and it sounds good to you, then I would love to help you. So to your question, Rena, about insurance, we do not take insurance. But having said that my programs are bundled where I order the labs for you. Like, I'm not going to ask you to go get the labs. I get them, I give it, they're included in my price of the program, and depending on what labs you need, but I want to make sure that we're getting the right labs. For example, I don't want you to get a lab from a doctor when we want to do a thyroid panel. I want to look at antibodies, and I want to look at different markers specifically, so we can create a very, very detailed treatment plan for you. So remember, insurance pays for the crash, right? Just like car insurance, it doesn't pay for rotating tires or, oil changes or anything like that. It pays for the crash, and similar to our medical insurance. And then the other question that comes up often, are we affordable? And I won't know exactly what program you will need it, but I will know once we have our second step, which is the wellness evaluation appointment. But all I can say is that I really, really make it easy for you so you can afford and it can fit into your budget. My goal really, it's more of an investment in your health rather than a cost. It's like I said, it's better to pay something upstream and invest, the time that you have into your health rather than downstream. So, but we bundle everything and together we find a solution. And if it's the right fit, like, I'm not going to, have any judgment if you decide not to go with me. I just want you to find a system that resonates with you and that you want to continue doing. So the other question that I get is our practice virtual? And yes, it is all virtual. We help people all over the world. I have clients in different countries and different time zones. And so, yes, we can accommodate anyone pretty much in the world. If we decide to take the next steps together, what do I need to do? So one of the things that I do request is that you bring your spouse. And the only reason why is because when you are at home and you're doing a program that changes lifestyle, changes your lifestyle and habits, that it's important that your significant other is a part of that. And I just want to be transparent and honest and just say again, because if you don't feel supported at home and getting what you need, then it could be difficult for you to find, success in that. So I just want to make sure that we are all together on the same page and, just understanding the whole process. So we are it's exactly an hour, right? We started at 7:15. Okay, we're 2 minutes after, or 3 minutes after, just turned 8:18 here. But I want to thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited to get to know you. And I do hope that you take me up on the 15-minute free discovery call. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at any time at my email address that I put in the chat. And I will be sending this replay. I'm going to send this replay because you signed up for the webinar automatically. So you'll get that. You get to listen and hear back all this stuff. But I'm just so thankful that you're here, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will see you guys later, I hope. Okay. Bye. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for all your feedback and interaction. Bye.